Good morning, everyone. Today is October the 29th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. My name is Anne-Marie Band. We'll start off with the futures, as we often do. Looking at a daily chart, we can see it's still inside of a very tight channel. Pretty solid breakout event. And so what we anticipate is a run-in to the low volume node, right? So this is my suspicion, that we come right back here. This is old resistance, new support, 57.25 and a quarter. That's the low volume node. If it fails even further, 56.26, and then that's the point of control, and then 5600.22. Do I think it's going to do that? No, but it seems clear to me that traders are lightening their exposure to the market because of potential volatility that they're going to see. So let's take a look at the hourly chart. The value area here at 8 o'clock, we are going to have a slurry of releases. We've got trade goods, that's coming out in 15 minutes. Retail inventories, also 15 minutes. Wholesale inventories, also in 15 minutes. Case-Shiller Home Index, that's in 45 minutes. House Price Index from the FHFA. Consumer confidence at 10 o'clock, and JOLTS. So really big. And of course, Friday, November the 1st is the employment situation. So traders are in a little bit of a wait state. That makes me think, listen, they're going to drive price down, accumulate, and then liquidate on the way up. This is what we're seeing. It's what we saw over here. Drove price down, immediately began to bounce, held here, and then liquidated into the top, came right back down to base cost in that range, and turned around and did it again. And so I expect that this happens again. What did we just do? We're bouncing off the point of control. That's 58.50. We talked about that yesterday. We are sitting inside. Nope. We just tested the midnight candlestick of 3 days ago. All right. Is that important? I don't know. But that's about where we're sitting right now. So what are traders going to do? They're going to try and buy this area around the point of control, push it up into the resistance zone, maybe fill in the volume profile that's sitting here, and then go right back up to value area high. So my suspicion is a slog. Notice how many of these candlesticks are retracing each other. Up candle, down candle, up candle, down candle, up candle, up candle, down candle, down candle, up candle, down candle, up candle. You see? This is what's happening. So the edges are going to give you maximum opportunities for low risk, higher reward. Okay? So that's the pattern I'm seeing right now. We're caught in this flow. It went upward into the close of yesterday's VWAP, and then it came down to the point of control. It should bounce right into our VWAP and low volume node. Across the board, this is the kind of behavior we are likely to see. I think we ought to position for it mentally so that we can work out what it is that we might need to see in the end. Let's remove all these segments. I'll talk about them on another day. So here we are on the day. Not seeing a channel, right? This is obviously some kind of harmonic pattern. Right? If I draw Fibonacci here, let's see what that is. From high to low, that looks like about an 88 point, no, maybe a 78.6. So could it be a crab pattern? It could be all kinds of things. Right now, it's staying as your basic 88.2 collision zone, but we could have a topping formation that could put us up near 21,000. And then collapse. Notice how many people are sitting inside of this very large value area. Same sort of thing goes on. Price collapses. They begin to buy it up. They sell it down again, almost to where the value area is, and they buy it up again. They try to sell it down, but it's holding this 19,806. That's kind of a big deal. So what we want to see is, can we fill in the area between the VWAP of the last 3 days, which is 19,670 or so, all the way to the value area high at 20,787. Pullbacks or buy zones, very tight formations. Once it loses these edges, we're likely to see big dips down, but there's a lot of momentum sitting here that's bullish. Okay, so all the way to the top, you take profit. Dips are your buy zones. Because we're sitting underneath the big hull, we know that a near-term ceiling has been made. You know, that VWAP is very, very sideways. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. Value area, we were out of it 2 days ago. Take a look, right? 3-4 days ago, out of the value area, back into the value area. What do I think? I think we're coming to value area low. Could we break below that? Absolutely. 20,300. Look at all this heavy congestion here. 20,360 to 20,340 potentially in the space. I'll look and see what settlement is a little later, and I'll put a note in our room, in our chat about it. Right now, very heavy compression. Obviously waiting for, you know, what do we have? Google and Meta and a bunch of them reporting today after the close. So this is going to be a little choppy, all right? It's going to be a little choppy. The tighter the compression event, though, the more likely we've got a big elastic move up or down, right? And we can see them on the downside all the way down here at 20,200, maybe even 20,100. Very hard to say. All right, let's take a look at the YM. Before we move, remember, same sort of thing. If we're caught in a compression zone, we buy the dips and we sell the spikes. Until that is broken, that's what we do. If we get involved in the middle, we're going to get chopped up. All right, let's take a look at this. Very interesting, right? Double. This is a bimodal distribution. That's a fancy word that just means it's got two different spikes, right? Volume collecting here, volume collecting here. This low volume node, it's going to get filled in. Nature doesn't like a vacuum, and auctioneers, as in market auctioneers, they don't like vacuums either. So these things, 41,672, we're likely to head there. Also, old resistance, new support. Set an alert here. Could be a pretty nice buy zone. But if it gets here, and it's a buy zone, which it likely will be, and it does not recapture 42,100, cut and run, because there's something else going on. Okay, let's go to the 1 hour chart. Very tight compression. Not sure why this is taking a hot minute, but here we go. Our Fibonacci lines are a little bit tight simply because of the value area high low only being, look at that, 240 points. That's a very tight value area range. All right, if we break out of it, the width of the range, 240 points, let's subtract 240 from 470, and we're down here at the 250-ish area, right? That's the measured move, okay? Big dips, when it's moving like this, folks, if you're saying to yourself, wow, I really want to take a long, or you're saying to yourself, I really want to take a short, do yourself a favor, collapse into a tight time frame, go to a 5 minute, and watch for the bounces to sell. Make sure you're making lower highs and lower lows. Look at what's happening here. See the buyers? Look at the volatility band. We're making lower lows away from the band, which is telling us that buyers are trying to come into the fray, right? So before you jump in, because I said, hey, listen, this is very likely to come into here, well below at 42,270, it could just as easily bounce up to 42,610 before heading there. So make sure when you have the region that you're thinking to yourself, oh, wait, could this be a shorter short? Your 1 hour chart says, wait for the bounce and then take the short. Don't take it here just because you're staring it down, or it's going to open you up to a lot of risk. Let's take a look at oil. Israel said yesterday, hey, listen, I know we got to deal with Iran, but we're not going to touch any oil-sensitive regions. And oil began to flatten out. What is the big picture here? Well, listen, eventually we're going to start figuring out that we need oil to continue to move up, but here's what's going on here. It's very bearish. Look at the momentum. Every bounce is going to get sold. So if it bounces back up to 70, guess what? Going to be a sell zone. It gapped down 2 days ago. Could they fill the gap? Yes. So it could be a nice long here into 70. How do you want to look at that? You go to your 1 hour chart and you go, wait a second, am I making higher lows? Yes. Have I breached relative resistance? Yes. But now I've got the resistance from a couple of days past, and now that's resistance along with my value area high. What do I want to do? Listen, this is at the top of the momentum swing. How about waiting for a pullback into the point of control before taking the long into this very nice sweet spot of zero auctioning that they'll want to fill in near that 70 mark. Okay, where old support will become resistance right around that 70 zone. All right, lastly, we'll take a look at gold. Gold still moving fairly nicely, right? Well up over the range. Still looks good. But if we sit here, look at the compression, right? Here's the last high. Here's big compression, and they're breaking out again. So what would they want to do? They want to retest value area high and then move higher, or retest a value area high and collapse into the point of control. So what do we want to do? Look, cross current. We've got a flat VWAP, we've got an upward long haul, and we've got a downward fast haul, and momentum is down. So what does that tell you? You've got sideways action. Wait for the top near 2768 to try to take a short, and then wait for the bottom near 2758 to try to take a long. If it breaks up above 2770.70, you know you've got further upside. You just cut and run. All right, but right now, wait for the wick to get engaged. Okay, I did say that was the last one, but I did not look at SPY. Let's take a look at SPY. Wide value area. We're right in the middle of it. Very nasty. Relative momentum is down. We had a spiked move up, but this area right here is where the auction vacuum is. And remember, we like to come into those auction vacuums. They're going to try and buy the point of control. Remember, that's where everybody agrees price is, so it gets very noisy there. It's going to try and buy it. Our job is to look for the short on the bounce because trend is negative in the near term, and look for the long on the pullback near the value area low. That's like 577 or so, to see if we can get ourselves a long. I suspect today will be very, very choppy. It's not going to be a pretty day unless you're a very quick style trader. All right, so where are we sitting? This is the 8 o'clock candlestick form. Yes, 8 o'clock candlestick formation from 5 days ago. We're still sitting in there. Here's the 8 o'clock candlestick from 4 days ago. Guess what? After that 8:30 bounce, which is going to move in a little bit, and the earnings, I wouldn't be surprised if we are all the way back down here at 88, and the buyers are going to come right back in. So 88 to 89, look for buying pressure. 499, look for selling pressure. If it doesn't appear, it's going to be a breakaway. Please do not move your stop up. Just get out of the trade and reset, because there are going to be a lot of trapped shorts here, and if this starts running, it's going to squeeze just like Tesla has, and that is quite phenomenal. All right, take care, everybody. I'll see you on the streams.